Access your free language gifts right now before they expire. First, the Talking About Language PDF Conversation Cheat Sheet. This cheat sheet will teach you how to talk about languages and phrases like, I can speak a little bit of, I've been learning for 3 years, and much more. Second, do you know how to connect ideas in your target language? With this 1-minute lesson, you'll pick up must-know words like but, also, instead, therefore, and much more. Third, the 50 most common nouns that all beginners must know. Do you know all of these nouns? If not, this lesson teaches you the 50 must-know nouns fast. Learn them effortlessly with the audio slideshow tool inside. Fourth, the 50 most common verbs all beginners must know. How well do you know your verbs? This lesson will drill the 50 most common verbs into your head. Just use the free audio slideshow tool inside. Fifth, the All the Language You Need for Everyday Life Cheat Sheet Bundle. Get all of our best conversation cheat sheets rolled up into one with this gift. Download it right now before it disappears. And sixth, free language learning audiobooks for anyone who's watched this far. If you visit the link below, we'll send you over to our library of language learning audiobooks, which you can get for free. Save them to your device and listen and learn. They're yours to keep forever. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire.
Want to speak real Spanish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at SpanishPod101.com.
Oye, Fra, ¿sabías que ahorita estoy cursando una maestría en negocios?
Wow, ¿una maestría en negocios?
Sí.
Bueno, de hecho sí lo sé.
No sé por qué me sorprendí.
No sé por qué me sorprende.
Y bueno, el tema de esta semana, de hecho, fue hablar sobre los empresarios mexicanos más influyentes en los últimos tiempos.
Oh, mira.
Así es de que pensé que ese podía ser un excelente tema para el video de esta noche.
¿En serio?
Así es de que... Hello there, my beautiful friends of SpanishPod101.com. As you may know, my name is Diego.
Y yo soy Efraín.
Y el día de hoy vamos a hablar sobre los 10 empresarios más exitosos de México. Si eres alguien que está interesado en las finanzas, en las riquezas, la generación de dinero, este video puede ser interesante para ti.
Claro.
Saber estos hombres, las industrias en donde tuvieron y siguen teniendo hoy en día éxito. Así es de que... Enjoy this video. ¡Wow!
Bien. México es el 11º país más poblado del mundo. 11º, número 11. Entonces, también es una potencia económica. Por lo tanto, no es de sorprender que haya muchos empresarios en este país. Y en todos los medios, inversiones, minería, medios de comunicación y otros. Incluso en esta lista tenemos a las personas o algunas de las personas más ricas del mundo. Así que iniciemos esta lista con el primero. Bien, iniciamos esta lista con Emilio Azcárraga, con un patrimonio neto de $1,000 millones.
Wow.
Él es dueño de Televisa. Heredó esta empresa de su padre. Y es que Televisa es la televisora más popular en México. Es productora de telenovelas, también de programas de nuestra infancia como El Chavo del Ocho. Y programas muy conocidos como La Rosa de Guadalupe.
Sí.
También es consejero de empresas como Univisión y es dueño de el Club América, que es un club de fútbol.
No me gusta.
¿No? A mí tampoco me gusta. Bien, el segundo, Roberto Hernández Ramírez. Y él tiene un patrimonio neto de alrededor de $1,650. Bueno, él era propietario de Banamex, el Banco de México. Así como suena. Pero lo vendió en el 2001, haciendo una de las mayores transacciones entre México y Estados Unidos. O sea, hizo historia. Ahora mismo es miembro y copropietario del grupo ICA, este grupo de constructoras. Ajá. También encargado, bueno, de grandes producciones y grandes construcciones aquí en México, como el metro.
El tercero en la lista es Antonio del Valle Ruiz. Y wow, este señor tiene de patrimonio 3,000 millones de dólares.
Wow.
O en otras palabras, 3 billones de dólares. Es algo impresionante. El giro en donde hizo su mayor fortuna fue en el sector químico, pues él fundó la empresa Mexichem, que hoy en día se conoce como Orbia. Quizás no has escuchado hablar sobre esta empresa, pero si tú vives en Europa, muy seguramente has usado alguno de sus productos, pues Orbia es uno de los mayores productores de tubos de plástico en el mundo. Principalmente exporta estos productos a Europa. Así que bueno, pues este señor también tiene una enorme participación en instituciones bancarias.
Uh-huh.
Además, su empresa Mexichem Orbia también compró recientemente una empresa israelí para sistemas de riesgo. Él es Antonio del Valle Ruiz. El siguiente en la lista es Jerónimo Arango. Y vaya que todos los mexicanos han ido alguna vez a algunos de sus supermercados, porque este señor fundó Aurrerá, y en realidad el grupo Aurrerá, que es una cadena de supermercados.
Uh-huh.
Esta cadena de supermercados fue adquirida por Walmart, haciéndolo así el dominante de los supermercados en México.
Oh, wow.
Su fortuna está valuada en aproximadamente 4,000 millones de dólares.
4,000 millones de dólares.
Si te compras una casa con eso.
Una isla.
Una isla.
Un país pequeño. Ahora vamos a hablar de Juan Francisco Beckman Vidal. Y tiene un patrimonio neto de 4,300 millones de dólares. Mucho dinero. Pero, mira, ¿te gusta el tequila? Porque él es el propietario y presidente de José Cuervo. Seguro conoces esta marca tequilera, si es que te gusta el tequila. Pues ha estado en su familia por alrededor de 11 generaciones.
Bastante.
Así que ya sabes de dónde viene su fortuna. Uno de los tequilas más vendidos en todo el mundo.
Exacto.
¿Te gusta?
Me fascina.
Sí.
Más o menos.
¿Más o menos?
Sí, más o menos.
Sí, a mí también me gusta otra, pero wow, José Cuervo, sí.
Me gusta más Don Julio, pero...
¿Don Julio?
Sí, un poquito
Ay,
más.
pero Maestro Dobel,
No, de eso no lo he probado.
¿no? Es
No
muy
soy
suavecito
tan
también.
borracho como tú.
La siguiente empresaria es María Asunción Aramburu Zavala, con un patrimonio neto de 5,000 millones de dólares. Ella es vicepresidenta del Grupo Modelo y Corona, ya que su abuelo era cofundador de este grupo. Bueno, siendo la cerveza Modelo y Corona pues muy vendida en más de 180 países alrededor del mundo. Y ella además es la mujer más rica de México y también está en la 6ª posición de las personas más ricas de México. Bueno, ella vendió Grupo Modelo en el 2012, pero aún tiene acciones y también sigue siendo parte del consejo de esta empresa.
Aramburu Zavala.
No me hagas pronunciar ese nombre otra vez.
Parece un trabalenguas.
Aramburu Zavala.
Aramburu Zavala. El siguiente en la lista es Alberto Balleres González, quien tiene una fortuna aproximada de 6,4 mil millones de dólares. Él es el propietario de Grupo Val. Este grupo es un conglomerado de minería. Sí,
Ah,
él hizo su fortuna gracias a la plata, el cual es un elemento muy abundante aquí en nuestro país.
ujú.
Pero no solo eso, sino que él también es accionista mayoritario en Palacio de Hierro, que es una tienda departamental muy concurrida en México, pero también de Seguros GNP,
Ah,
quizás la aseguradora más grande de todo el país.
ujú. Yo estuve asegurado ahí.
¿Ah, sí?
Ujú.
¿Y ya no?
Ya no, porque solo lo hice mientras estaba fuera de mi casa. O sea, de fuera de casa de mis papás.
Ah, ok.
Ahora que ya regresé, dije, bueno, ya
Ya
no,
no necesito.
ya no.
Alguien que también está en el sector minero, pues
Ujú.
recordemos que México es muy abundante en todos los minerales, es Germán Larrea Mota Velasco,
Ok.
que tiene un patrimonio acumulado aproximado de 11 mil millones de dólares. Ya estamos entrando a dígitos más grandes, por supuesto. Ahora, él es también considerado el rey del cobre, al menos en México, pues a nivel mundial es el quinto hombre más importante en esta industria. Y pues bueno, al ser el cobre, pues estamos hablando básicamente de muchísimos cables, materiales que se
Sí.
producen, tuberías.
Esculturas.
eh, eh,
Sí,
o sea,
men.
sí, pero quizás no es lo más usual. Pero sí, él hizo su fortuna con el cobre.
Esculturas de
Es-
cobre, men.
Pero no está, o sea,
Esculturas.
pero no es como la industria más.
Vamos a hablar sobre Ricardo Salinas Pliego, con un patrimonio neto de más o menos 11.700 millones de dólares. Bueno, él es propietario del Grupo Salinas y Grupo Electra, fundador de Grupo Salinas, que se dedica a los medios de comunicación, al entretenimiento, al transporte también, a las telecomunicaciones y también se dedica a servicios financieros y bueno, al comercio también. Entonces, bueno, Grupo Salinas también es propietario de TV Azteca. Y TV Azteca es la segunda televisora más importante en México. Por otra parte, él era propietario de una compañía de líneas de celulares,
Ujú.
líneas de comunicación. Después se fusionó con AT&T, pero bueno, sigue teniendo influencia ahí. Por otra parte, también tiene otra empresa que se llama Itálica. Itálica se dedica a la fabricación de motocicletas. Y bueno, se posicionó muy bien ya que el 60% de las ventas de motocicletas en México son de Itálica.
Wow.
Ajá. Así que bueno, celulares, bueno, líneas telefónicas, transporte, comercio, medios educativos y también tiene Grupo Electra que vende algunos productos al por menor y dentro de Grupo Electra tenía o tiene un banco,
Exacto, Banco Azteca.
Banco Azteca, todo. O
Está en
sea,
todos,
está
hasta
en
en la
todo.
sopa.
Está aquí, ¿no? ¿Qué producto tenemos de él?
Y pasamos por último al hombre más rico de México, que alguna vez fue de hecho el hombre más rico del mundo.
Ujú.
Solo le duró un año, pero estuvo ahí.
Ah,
Y él fue Carlos, Carlos Slim Elú. Este señor tiene en su poder a Grupo Carso, que tiene demasiadas empresas en muchos ramos, pero también él es el dueño de América Móvil, una empresa de telecomunicaciones y en realidad la red más usada en México,
ujú.
pero también en Sudamérica.
Oh.
Grupo Carso está también involucrado en muchos sectores. Por ejemplo, en energía, está también en editoriales, está también en construcción
Sí.
y restaurantes con Grupo Sanborns. Si vienes a México, muy seguramente has visto alguna de estas tiendas. Tiendas Sanborns y sus restaurantes Sanborns.
Okay.
Comida muy rica, por cierto. Entonces, este señor, al igual que Salinas Pliego, están en todas partes, están hasta en la sopa. Él es Carlos Slim Elú.
¿Sí? Eso es todo por hoy. Muchas gracias a todos por ver este video. Espero les haya gustado. Espero les haya encantado. Pero bueno, por favor, escriban sus comentarios allá abajo. También denos un pulgar arriba, por favor. Y no se olviden de suscribirse a este canal. Por supuesto, click on the notification so you know when we upload a new video.
Exactly.
So nos vemos en el próximo. Hasta luego.
Bye.
Ahora vamos a hablar de Juan Francisco Beckman Vidal con un patrimonio neto, perdóname. Ahora vamos a hablar de Beckman Vidal. José Francisco. ¿Te gusta?
A mí me fascina el José Cuervo.
Ya ibas a decir otra
Otra
vez.
Hola, soy Brenda Romaniello. Hi, I'm Brenda Romaniello, your Spanish teacher. And today, in the lesson, we are going to have a look at how to talk about our language abilities, discussing language abilities in Spanish, specifically how to talk about what languages you can speak. Let's start then with some vocabulario. Let's have a look at some vocabulary of different languages in Spanish. Español. ¿Puedes repetir? Can you repeat after me? Español. Español. Coreano. Coreano. Okay, español of course means Spanish. Coreano. Coreano means Korean. Italian. How do we say Italian in Spanish? Italiano. 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 Muy bien. How do we say English in Spanish? Do you know? Inglés. 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 How do we say Chinese? We say chino. 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 How do we say French in Spanish? Francés. 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 How do we say Japanese in Spanish? We are going to say japonés, japonés, japonés. German, we say alemán, alemán, alemán. And the last one that we have here today is Portugués, 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 which means Portuguese. A few things that I want us to talk about these languages that we have here. Have you noticed, number one thing is that we don't capitalize the languages in Spanish. As you can see, all the English translations, they have the capital letter at the beginning of the word. In Spanish, we don't do that. Everything is with lowercase at the beginning of the word. Something else, I'm going to give you extra information that you can use as well. So you can use this as well, not only the language, if you want to talk about a language in Spanish, you can also use these words if you want to describe the nationality of men in Spanish. So if a man is from Spain, we're going to say that this person is español. Or if someone is English, then Inglés, etc., etc. So it's really interesting. You have a little bit of extra vocabulary that you can use for something else. But these are also languages. These are the languages. Something else I want to point out is that some languages like Inglés, Japonés, Alemán, Portugués, Francés Can you see that little accent, that written accent at the top? Well, that indicates where the stress of the word goes. So that's really helpful. With this one, for example, you know that it's not inglés. You know that the stress of the word goes in the last syllable. Inglés, inglés. The same with japonés, japonés, francés. So the other words, they don't have these written accents, so you don't know exactly, it doesn't tell you exactly where to put the stress of the word, but you know that you can, for example, in español, you have to go with the stress in the last syllable as well. Español, español. Fantastico. Let's have a look at this vocabulary and let's put it into practice in a dialogue. So, por ejemplo, ¿hablas inglés? ¿Hablas inglés? Do you speak English? ¿Hablas inglés? Sí, hablo inglés. Sí, hablo inglés. Sí, hablo inglés. Let's have a look at some other answers that we can have for this question. ¿Hablas, por ejemplo, español? ¿Hablas español? Sí, hablo español. Sí, hablo español. Yes, I speak Spanish. ¿Hablas japonés? ¿Hablas japonés? Sí, hablo japonés. Sí, hablo japonés. And let's say that you don't speak the language. How do we answer that? For example, ¿hablas chino? ¿Hablas chino? Then if you want to say that you don't speak Chinese, then you can say no. No hablo chino. No. No hablo chino. Fabuloso. Okay, but remember, if you want to talk about the abilities that you have for speaking other languages, you can say sí, hablo, and then whatever language you speak. So let's have a look at the structure for this. We're going to say sí, hablo, and then the language. Yes, I speak that language. Muy bien, es hora de practicar. It's time to practice. Do you remember how to say English in Spanish? Inglés. Inglés. Do you remember how to say speak in Spanish? Hablo. Hablo. Do you remember how to say I speak English? Hablo inglés. Hablo inglés. And do you remember how to say yes, I speak English? Sí, hablo inglés. Sí, hablo inglés. Do you remember how to say Spanish? Español. Español. Do you remember how to say Japanese? Japonés. Japonés. Do you remember how to say Korean? Coreano. Coreano. Do you remember how to say Chinese in Spanish? Chino. Chino. Do you remember how to say German in Spanish? Alemán. Alemán. Do you remember how to say Italian in Spanish? Italiano. Italiano. Do you remember how to say Portuguese in Spanish? Portugués. Portugués. And the last one, do you remember how to say French in Spanish? Francés. Francés. Fabuloso. Very good job. I really hope that you enjoyed today's lesson and thank you so much for learning a little bit of Spanish with me. I will see you next class. Adios. Hola, soy Brenda Romagnello, tu profesora de español. Hello and welcome, my name is Brenda Romagnello and I'm your Spanish teacher. Today we're going to have a look at some essential social expressions in Spanish and we're going to learn how to apologize, how to thank someone and what to reply when someone says thank you. Let's start with some vocabulary and I want you to repeat after me. So to say excuse me in Spanish, we are going to say un momento, or we can say disculpe, disculpe. Fantástico. So the difference is that un momento, it means a moment please, disculpe, excuse me. This is what they literally mean, but we can use them both to say excuse me in Spanish. Un momento, disculpe. Let's move on now how to say yes, what is it? You can say in Spanish, sí, dígame. Sí, dígame. Sí, ¿qué pasa? Sí, ¿qué pasa? O simplemente, just simply, sí. Sí. Now let's have a look how we say thank you in Spanish. We say gracias. Muchas gracias. Gracias means thank you. Muchas gracias, thank you very much. You're welcome. We are going to say in Spanish, de nada. De nada. Or the other option, no hay de qué. No hay de qué. No hay de qué. De nada means it's nothing. Y no hay de qué, nothing to worry about. That's what it literally means. That's pretty much what we are actually saying in Spanish. But we're trying to say, you're welcome. We're not trying to say, we're actually saying, you're welcome. So how do we say I'm sorry or sorry? We can say perdón, perdón, perdón. And we can also say disculpe, disculpe. Hang on, Brenda, didn't you say that disculpe means excuse me? That's right. So disculpe, we can say that it means two things. We can use it as to call someone's attention, excuse me, disculpe, or we can also use it to apologize. For example, if we bump into someone, we can also say disculpe. Yes, for an apology. Perdón cannot be used as excuse me. That means I'm sorry. Perdón, disculpe. And the last one, we're going to learn no problem. No problem. And I don't want to hear you say no problemo. That is not correct Spanish. How do we say it? In Spanish, we're going to say no hay problema. No hay problema. No hay problema. Or the other option, no pasa nada. No pasa nada. No pasa nada. So what do they mean? No hay problema means no problem. No pasa nada, nothing is happening. It's okay. So that's what it means. It means no problem. Now we're going to have a look at some examples when we can use these expressions and these phrases. So the first thing that we're going to see is when we want to call for someone's attention. If you want to call for someone's attention after, for example, they drop something, or if someone wants to call for your attention because maybe you dropped something, then they will say disculpe, disculpe, and you can reply, or they can reply, sí, dígame, sí, dígame, disculpe, sí, dígame. So remember, disculpe means excuse me, sí, dígame means yes, what is it? But it literally means, dígame, literally means tell me. Yes, tell me. But we want to say, what is it? The second scenario that we can use these expressions with is when you want to apologize after bumping into someone, for example, on a train. Or if you are on the street or anywhere, if you're bumping into someone, you want to apologize, this is a scenario, this is an example that we can use. Disculpe, disculpe. And the other person can reply, no hay problema. No hay problema. Disculpe, yes, excuse me or sorry in this case because we're apologizing, right? Perdón. We can also say perdón, remember? So we can say disculpe, perdón, to apologize. And the person can reply, no hay problema, no pasa nada. The last scenario, the last example that we have here, if you want to thank a friend who's just giving you a souvenir. That is so thoughtful. They went on a holiday, they thought of you, they bought you a little something, and then, well, you want to be grateful. You can say, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, to which they can reply, de nada. De nada. Or, what is the other option? No hay de qué. No hay de qué. So remember, now you know how to call someone's attention. Un momento, disculpe. To apologize, for example, if you bump into someone. Perdón, disculpe. And if you want to thank someone, you can say gracias, muchas gracias. Or if you want to say you're welcome, de nada, no hay de qué. Do you remember how to say excuse me in Spanish? Disculpe, disculpe. O un momento. Un momento. Do you remember how to say, yes, what is it? Sí, dígame. Sí, dígame. Do you remember how to say, thank you very much in Spanish? Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. And do you remember how to say, you're welcome in Spanish? De nada. De nada. The other option, no hay de qué. No hay de qué. Do you remember how to say sorry? Perdón. Perdón. Or disculpe. Disculpe. And do you remember how to say no problem? No hay problema. No hay problema. Or the option, no pasa nada. No pasa nada. Perfecto. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching today's lesson and I really hope that you enjoyed it. I will see you next class. Adiós. Hasta luego.
Disculpe, un café, por favor.
In the next minute, you'll be challenged to order at a restaurant. First, let's look at some examples.
Disculpe, el menú, por favor.
Disculpe, un café, por favor.
Disculpe, la cuenta, por favor.
Let's practice.
Estás en un restaurante. Pide un café. Sí, enseguida.
How did you do? You can consider this practice exercise successful if you were able to answer in the given time, completed a pattern with an item, and used the sentence pattern featured in this example.
Disculpe, la cuenta, por favor.
Try this practice exercise again if you want to improve your fluency or skill in any of these areas.
2 órdenes de esto, por favor.
In the next minute, you'll be challenged to ask for 2 or more of something. First, let's look at some examples.
2 órdenes de esto, por favor.
3 órdenes de esto, por favor.
4 órdenes de esto, por favor.
Let's practice.
Estás en un restaurante. Pide 2 cosas.
Adelante.
How did you do? You can consider this practice exercise successful if you were able to answer in the given time, completed a pattern with a number, and used the sentence pattern featured in this example.
2 órdenes de esto, por favor.
Try this practice exercise again if you want to improve your fluency or skill in any of these areas.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is how to integrate self-study and learning with a teacher and learn faster. Since you're learning a language, are you learning on your own or are you also learning with a teacher? If you are, but if you're learning different things on the app and different things from your teacher, you're actually spreading yourself thin and slowing your progress. And that's because you're skipping key steps of the learning process. So today, you'll discover why learning separate things from separate sources slows you down, how combining the two helps you learn faster and hits on all the key steps of the learning process, and how to apply these tactics. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Talking About Language PDF Conversation Cheat Sheet. This cheat sheet will teach you how to talk about languages and phrases like, I can speak a little bit of, I've been learning for 3 years, and much more. And second, the All the Language You Need for Everyday Life Cheat Sheet Bundle, where you get all of our best conversation cheat sheets rolled up into one with this gift. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. How to integrate self-study and learning with a teacher and learn faster. Part 1. Do you combine self-study and learning with others? If you think about it, most language learners learn on their own with a few different resources, a few apps, and maybe a textbook. And then you have learners that do both self-study and learning with a tutor. But for the most part, they learn different things from different sources. Words on this app, different phrases on that app, and maybe some unrelated grammar with a tutor. Is this something you do? Because if you do, then this disconnected approach can slow your language progress down. How exactly? There's a simple formula to learning successfully. Successful learning requires 1. Acquiring new information, 2. Practicing using what you've learned, 3. Getting feedback and implementing it, and then 4. Getting assessed, someone telling you if you're on the right track or not. So if you want to learn fast, you'll want to do all of these things. Now, if you're learning alone, then you're mostly just acquiring new information. New words from this app, unrelated phrases from that app, and so on. You're just jumping from resource to resource without practicing and getting feedback on what you've learned. And you're not going to remember what you learn as well. You're missing some critical steps of the learning process, namely the practice, feedback, and assessment from a native teacher. And even if you are learning on your own and with a teacher, but there's no overlap with your self-study, you're still missing the practice for what you're doing on your own. So it's best to combine your self-study with what you're doing with a teacher, so that you learn on your own and go on to practice what you've learned with a teacher and get feedback. Now, you might be thinking, why not just learn with a teacher then, without self-study? If you're learning with a tutor or teacher, then it also becomes a question of time. You're on a limited schedule. Your teachers are on a limited schedule. Plus, you have to pay for their time too. Let's say you have 1 hour of classes a week with a native speaking teacher. How would you want to spend it? Do you want to spend that hour listening to grammar explanations and learning new words? Or do you want to use that time practicing speaking and getting feedback? If you spend that hour learning words and grammar rules, then you have to wait until the next time to practice. And that takes even more time, money, and slows down your progress. So it's better to learn and prepare ahead of time on your own, and then practice those concepts with the teacher later. But if you don't prepare ahead of time, you become like that one person you probably had in your class. They didn't come prepared, and the teacher always had to stop and explain everything to them and slow the class down. There's always one person like that. And it'd be better for the student and their progress if they prepared on their own. So the point of integrating self-study and learning with others is to make the most of your time with a teacher. Practice what you've learned on your own and get feedback as you practice. Otherwise, if you come to a teacher without preparation, they'll just spend the time explaining grammar rules or reviewing vocabulary, and it's not actually implementing what you've learned on your own, which you won't get to practice until next time, if at all. And if you're just doing self-study, then you likely won't get a chance to practice at all. But it's the practice and feedback that helps the language stick, and that's the part you can't skip. Part 2. How to integrate self-study and learning with others. So, here's what you can do. 1. Join our live group classes. We're currently offering live group classes for Japanese, English, Italian, Chinese, Korean, Spanish, French, Portuguese, German, Greek, and Thai. Our live classes provide you with lessons you can study on your own, and then you get to practice with our teachers in the live classes. 2. Find a teacher or tutor that works with the same resource that you have, whether it's our program or a textbook. Have the tutor see what you're studying so they can match. And it's important that there's overlap, that what you're learning with the tutor and on your own is the same, so you can learn on your own and practice with the teacher. 3. You can also try our Premium Plus plan if you're not quite ready for live classes. Our Premium Plus teachers are familiar with our learning program, so there's no disconnect between what you learn on your own and what you'll learn with them. And 4. Find a friend or a community that's learning with the same resource as you. That way, you can practice with them and they can step in and clear up any questions that you may have. So, do you combine self-study and learning with others, or do you plan to? Leave us a comment. So, thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about your pronunciation is terrible. Is pronunciation important or not? If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye! If you want to learn the language fast, there are some little-known learning hacks that you can use with our system. 5 learning hacks that you didn't know about. And in this quick guide, you'll discover 1. How to understand and pick up on every word with the read-along method. 2. How to improve your speaking and pronunciation with one tool. 3. How to immerse yourself in native dialogues, and much more. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. Ever listen to a conversation between native speakers and wish you could follow along with a transcript? Well, you can. In fact, listening and reading along is a popular learning hack for mastering a language. You pick up on every word, you improve your listening skills, reading skills, and engage multiple senses at once, which improves recall. And you can do just that with our lessons. On every lesson page, you get the complete word-for-word transcript to read along with. Shadowing is another popular language learning trick, and it's where you repeat what you hear as a way to improve your speaking skills. So as you're taking our lessons, you can shadow the lesson conversation. And you can do this easily with the line-by-line audio dialogue, which breaks up the conversation into individual lines. Just press play on the audio to listen and then repeat. You can also use the pronunciation practice tool to compare yourself to native speakers. Just press the microphone icon, record yourself speaking the line, and then you can hear how your pronunciation compares to the native speaker. The dialogue tracks give you just the conversation of the lessons, no translations, so that you can review the conversations without retaking lessons. And if you're learning with our app, you can just set the dialogue tracks on autoplay and immerse yourself in different types of dialogues, boost your listening skills, and drill all the conversations into your brain. Just go into the settings on the app, and in autoplay, make sure autoplay is on. Turn on dialogue, turn off the other tracks, also set play next lessons to on, and the app will do the rest for you. Now, if you're not sure whether you're getting the most out of the lesson or not, well, if you follow our lesson checklists, you'll walk away knowing more of the language guaranteed. This premium PDF can be found inside the PDF download section of the lesson and gives you bonus tips to follow. Just print out the checklist and fill it out with every lesson. The word bank is kind of like your extended brain, where you can save words and phrases that you come across to the word bank, so you review them later. Just look for the word bank in the vocabulary menu on the site. But what's cool is you can also create printable study sheets for your words and phrases as well. Just click on Printer-Friendly Version. You can also click Export Word Bank. If you've organized and labeled your words into categories, such as verbs and adjectives, you can select that label and export it as a PDF. Then print the file out. You can write on it and keep it as physical study material. So, if you want to learn the language and get access to these learning tools and our learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. Remember, here's what you can do to learn all of these words by heart. Drill these words with our spaced repetition flashcards, which will help cement these words into your long-term memory. Save them to the word bank, your personal vocabulary collection, where you can print out your own study sheets, or review the words with our looped vocabulary slideshow and play it until you know all of the words. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to get these lessons and study tools. Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.